Welcome back to the crypto channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin has finally completed the bearish rising wedge pattern with another dump to the downside caused by massive selling pressure from the Bitcoin ETFs, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But we're now bouncing from critical support, while Ethereum is also playing out a new pattern in the short term, which I'll talk about later in the video. So make sure to watch to the end. First of all, just before getting into the Bitcoin charts, we need to talk about the Bitcoin ETF news today, because just yesterday, Grayscale, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, sent another approximately 10,000 Bitcoin worth over $400 million US to Coinbase, basically to sell that Bitcoin. And so obviously just over the last one day, we did end up seeing another short-term dump in the price of Bitcoin. And once again, this is something that I've been talking about for the last week or so, basically ever since these ETFs have been approved. I've been warning that the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, the Grayscale ETF in particular, is likely going to cause a lot of short-term selling pressure before we could potentially see a recovery in the price later on. Because first of all, roughly around a week ago, Grayscale was actually holding well over 630 to 640,000 Bitcoin. Right now, they're actually holding around 582,000 Bitcoin. And so obviously, they're still holding a lot of Bitcoin, over 500,000 Bitcoin, currently worth around $24 billion US. But just over the last 1 week, their Bitcoin holdings have gone down significantly. And so obviously, even though they can indeed provide a lot more selling pressure for the market, they still have a lot of Bitcoin that they're currently holding. Of course, they do ultimately have a limited amount of Bitcoin, even though it's a lot of Bitcoin. At some stage, obviously, they're going to have to run out of Bitcoin when they sell enough of their Bitcoin holdings. And so ultimately, by definition, the Grayscale selling pressure is temporary. Personally, I only see it as a temporary buying opportunity, because once again, eventually they're going to run out of Bitcoin to sell. They're going to run out of the ability to provide selling pressure for the price of Bitcoin, which means prices can recover later on. But at least for now, while there's still a lot of Bitcoin sitting in the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, once again, they can still provide short-term selling pressure, which can potentially provide short-term dumps for the price of Bitcoin. And I've explained exactly why this is happening in recent videos here on the channel over the last 1 week, once again, when I've been warning about this happening. But in case you're new to the channel, basically all you need to know is the fees in regards to the Grayscale ETF are simply way too high compared to other ETFs like the BlackRock Spot Bitcoin ETF. And so essentially, a lot of people that had their money in the Grayscale Bitcoin ETF, it makes complete sense for them to move out of Grayscale and into another Spot Bitcoin ETF, because while their money is sitting in Grayscale, once again, they're paying those very high fees, and they can significantly reduce those fees if they move to another Spot Bitcoin ETF, to a cheaper ETF. And basically, when you want to move your money out of Grayscale, they have to pay you out in US dollars. They cannot pay you out in Bitcoin because it's a cash create ETF. And so essentially, if you're wanting to take your money out of Grayscale, Grayscale are basically forced to sell that Bitcoin, the underlying Bitcoin that's backing the ETF, to pay you out in US dollars. But essentially what's happening is a lot of people are just moving from Grayscale to another ETF. So they're taking those US dollars and actually sending them over to another ETF provider like BlackRock, for example, and then BlackRock has to rebuy that Bitcoin to back their ETF. And so that's what I said in this tweet right here. As you can see, this Bitcoin that Grayscale is selling is basically going to just head over to BlackRock. And so far, this has been playing out exactly as expected, because the BlackRock Spot Bitcoin ETF, the BlackRock Bitcoin holdings, are continuing to grow and grow. Because just yesterday, obviously, they were holding a lot less Bitcoin than this. They were holding roughly around $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. And just over the last 1 day, they've accumulated around $200 million worth of Bitcoin. And so as of right now, at the time of recording this video, after just 5 days of trading, when the Bitcoin ETFs have been trading for only 5 days, BlackRock is now holding around 28,622 Bitcoin, worth roughly around $1.2 billion US. And once again, BlackRock has grown their Bitcoin stack to this size in just 5 days of trading. The Bitcoin ETFs have only been live for 5 trading days on the US stock market. And so basically at the current rate, BlackRock's accumulating roughly around $200 million worth of Bitcoin every single trading day. And so once again, in the short term, we do have that selling pressure from Grayscale, with a lot of people moving out of Grayscale. And so this can indeed lead to short-term lower prices for Bitcoin. But over the longer run, of course, with a big player like BlackRock, the spot Bitcoin ETFs overall are very very bullish over the longer run. Because as you can see, this is on BlackRock's own website. Once again, you can see they're currently holding around 28,622 Bitcoin, worth roughly around 1.2 billion US dollars. And remember, $1 billion for BlackRock is actually barely anything, because BlackRock actually manages roughly around 9 trillion US dollars, which is 9,000 billion. And so ultimately, the main takeaway from all of this is that in the short term, yes, we're going to see some selling pressure from the Bitcoin ETFs, mainly thanks to grayscale. But over the longer term, over the coming months or years, this is very bullish for Bitcoin, talking about the spot Bitcoin ETFs potentially sending the Bitcoin price much higher due to much larger players like BlackRock. But anyway, getting into the Bitcoin charts today, this is on the daily Bitcoin chart, and right now the bearish divergence is still playing out exactly as predicted, which means we're due to see a reduced bullish momentum in the short term, and that usually plays out in the form of either choppy sideways price action, if not a pullback in the price of Bitcoin, as the most common outcomes from a bearish divergence. And so at least for now, we're still currently within this short-term pullback, and once again, I would not be expecting any significant bullish momentum, at least in the short term, because the bearish divergence is still playing out. And if we're taking a quick look at the DXY, also known as the US dollar index, of course, right now this is continuing to bounce to the upside, which is a warning signal for Bitcoin and crypto. And I won't be going too much into detail about this chart in this video today, because I did that in my last few videos here on the channel. So if you're new to the channel and you want to know more about this chart right here, then check out my last 1 to 2 videos here on the channel to find out more. But staying on the daily Bitcoin chart, taking a look at this ascending parallel channel, technically speaking, the price of Bitcoin is still within the ascending parallel channel, still within the bullish trend. But obviously right now, the price of Bitcoin is getting very close to this line of support, which is sitting at around $40,000. And so obviously, if we see a confirmed break below $40,000, that would be one of the early signs of a possible trend reversal. But if we're taking a look at the daily Bitcoin RSI, besides the fact that we're playing out that bearish divergence with higher highs in the price and lower highs in the RSI, overall, if you're looking at the trend in the RSI over the last couple of months, the RSI has already been trending to the downside, as you can see. And oftentimes a downtrend in the RSI, while the price is struggling to head up, is actually a sign of weakness for the bullish trend. So technically speaking, we have not yet confirmed a bearish trend reversal in the price of Bitcoin, but we're currently seeing early signs of a bearish trend reversal with weakness showing up in the price oscillators. And of course, that DXY continuing to bounce to the upside, which once again is a warning signal for Bitcoin and crypto. But remember, even if we see a bearish trend reversal here on the daily time frame, of course, that can head into a bearish trend on the daily chart, like what we saw just here or just here, for example. But that is different from the much larger time frames, like the weekly chart. Of course, a bearish trend on the daily time frame could be seen as just a pullback within the much larger bullish trend on the weekly time frame. And so as always, it is important to understand the difference between the different time frames. Once again, on the weekly chart, I've been non-stop bullish this entire time since the beginning of 2023, but on the daily chart, we see short-term bullish and bearish trends throughout that much larger bullish trend. But anyway, if we're taking a look at the shorter term, looking at the 4-hour time frame right now, as I've recorded in this video, the price of Bitcoin is actually bouncing from this important area of support, which is really the final area of support in the short term before potentially much lower prices. And this area of support is sitting in between around 40,500 to 41K. And as I've said in recent videos here on the channel, I said if we break below this area of support, which is sitting in between around 42.4K to 42.7K, basically if we break below that area of support, then I would expect a dump down towards this area of support, which is exactly what has happened as expected. And so right now, previous support should become new resistance. If we see a further bounce to the upside, I would expect resistance at around 41.7K and more resistance in this zone right here, which was previous support, once again in between around 42.4K to 42.7K acting as resistance. And as for short-term support, once again, we still have this area that I just mentioned earlier. And if we break below around 40,500, we do have this line of support at around 40,000. But basically, if we start breaking below around $40,000 per Bitcoin, that would be a fairly bearish signal, at least in the short term. And our next support would be sitting at around 38,000. And below that, the next support would be sitting at around 36,000. But heading back to that 4-hour time frame, now that we've run into this area of support in between 40,500 to 41k, obviously this means that this previous bearish rising wedge pattern is now fully complete. Because of course the full technical price target for the rising wedge pattern was sitting at the bottom of the wedge, basically this area of support, as I've been talking about basically every day since all the way back up here. And obviously that short-term bullish divergence just on the 4-hour time frame already played its part over the last few days. We did see a slight bullish relief, but remember on the smaller time frames, these smaller divergences play out much faster and are less significant compared to the larger time frames. But right now, we could potentially be forming a new bullish divergence because obviously the price has just formed a new lower low, as you can see. And while the price is forming lower lows, of course, we have a potential higher low here in the RSI on the 4-hour time frame. And so basically, this could likely result in a short-term bullish relief or at least a sideways consolidation, kind of like what we saw just here, potentially over the next few days. And while we're seeing that playing out just in the imminent short term, of course, this can help to reset the RSI back to the upside, which can actually give us more room to the downside later on. And so basically, we're most likely going to repeat similar price action to what we saw just here. It's just right now, we're basically at a different level, but similar to what we saw just here. But either way, whether you think we're going up or down, you can make money in either scenario using long positions and short positions. And personally, I take those trades over on Bybit. So I'll make sure to leave a link to Bybit in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link down below this video to make a Bybit account, you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus, but only if you use that link down below this video. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or if you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link and deposit at least $100 worth of crypto and to make just one trade over on Bitflex, you can get 10 USDT completely for free. And so if you're trading crypto anyway, or if you're preparing to take the next trade, you might as well get set up or ready to go on one of those exchanges using those links down below this video if you want to get those extra bonuses. And if we're taking a look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, of course, over the last one day, we did indeed head to the downside as expected. I talked about in my last video that we have a lot more liquidity to the downside, so we're likely going to head lower. And now that the price of Bitcoin has head lower as expected, of course, we now have liquidity to the upside. So once again, we're likely going to see a bit of a short-term bullish relief. Once again, I would not be expecting significant bullish momentum, but it is likely due to this short-term bullish divergence and liquidity to the upside that we could see the price just slowly drift back to the upside. And as for levels to watch out for, we do have some liquidity at around 42.2k to 42.3k, and above that we have a lot more liquidity sitting closer towards around 43,000. But remember that between now and those higher prices like 43k, remember we still have important resistance between now and then. So for example, we could attempt that bullish relief, but then perhaps get rejected by some of these levels of resistance. But anyway, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily time frame, and right now the bearish divergence is still playing out as expected. Once again, we're due to see reduced bullish momentum in the short term, which usually plays out in the form of either a pullback or choppy sideways price action as the most common outcomes from a bearish divergence. And so at least over the next few days, possibly over the next 1 to 2 weeks, that is the type of price action that I continue to expect. And if we're taking a look at the shorter term, looking at the 4-hour time frame, obviously we have continued that pullback from the local highs to actually retest this previous area of resistance, now acting as new support, sitting in between around 23.90 to around 24.20. And at the same time as the price bouncing just above that area of support, we also have the 4-hour Ethereum RSI getting very close to oversold territories. And so once again, when the RSI gets close to oversold territories or enters into oversold territories, that means we have somewhat limited room to the downside, at least in the imminent short term. And so usually it's quite normal to see a bounce or at least a sideways consolidation to help reset the RSI further back to the upside, which can give us more room to the downside later on. And so that's basically the situation right now in the short term, because at least for now, we're actually in a descending parallel channel here on the 4-hour ETH to US dollar chart. As you can see right here, we have a descending line of support, which is sitting at around 24.10 and was sitting at around 24.20, just where we saw a perfect bounce. And as for resistance, where we've seen multiple rejections from so far, we have this line of resistance, which is currently sitting at around 25.40 to 25.50. And so basically in the short term, I would not be surprised if we actually see a bit more of a bounce back to the upside here, but ultimately we are in a short-term bearish trend just on the 4-hour time frame. And as for Solana against the US dollar on the 4-hour time frame, the price is basically just in a sideways price range, chopping around sideways in between the golden pocket and the 23.6% Fibonacci level acting as resistance. And so the price of Solana, once again, is not really bullish or bearish at the moment. We're just chopping around sideways, and that golden pocket is sitting in between around $83.50 to around $85.50, and that Fibonacci level of resistance is sitting at around $108 to $109. And once again, as I've been saying recently on the channel, in fact, over the last 1 week or so, I continue to expect some choppy sideways price action here for the price of Solana, at least in the short term, because at the moment we're lacking momentum to either direction. But believe it or not, choppy sideways price action just like this, if the price is just chopping around sideways in a sideways price range, this can actually be a gold mine. You can make a lot of easy profits from choppy sideways price action just like this. And if you want to know how to do that, then make sure to watch the video in the bottom left of your screen right now, because that video right there shows you how you can easily profit using grid bots in choppy sideways price action, and the video in the top left shows you how you can long or short crypto to make money if the price is bullish or bearish. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.